certainty, didn't know when electric was going to be on or any of that kind of stuff. So I grew up spending a lot of time with my grandparents who were very verbally abusive. I was told a lot of painful things, like I was unwanted, unloved, I would never amount to anything, and I believe that is my identity coming from a loved one. So I walked with defeat, I walked as a failure, I walked as those things that I was told my whole life. From the age of 10 to 16, I was sexually abused by 4 men, 3 were family members. That threw me for a whirlwind. I closed myself in my room. I wouldn't talk to anybody. I lost my security. I lost my virginity. I lost who I was. I didn't know who I was anymore. I felt like there was no point of living. I felt like everything had been stripped from me. Everything was stolen from me. In this time, at 14, I was introduced to marijuana. I used it as a coping mechanism, and it didn't do me any good. It sent me for more and more of a spiral. I couldn't find anything to quench that thirst, that void that I had inside of me that I was looking for. And at the age of 21, I lost my best friend to a heroin suicide overdose. And that's where God met me in a dream. And I was broken, I was depressed. I was told by many doctors I was screwed up in the mind, I would never be normal again. I was that broken little abused girl for the rest of my life. And I lived by that, I believed that. In 2018, I went to Teen Challenge for a year program, and I learned about this Jesus. I learned about who he was, I learned about who I was, but I faked through it. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that a good God who loves me would let these things happen to me. Later on, a year later, I relapsed. I came to family care, and that's where I started hearing about Jesus again. But this time was different because this time God spoke to me personally, and it was on my part. I had to throw my hands up in an act of surrender, and I had to say, you know what? I don't have any more control over my life. I can't handle this on my own. I had 6 suicide attempts. I didn't understand why God kept me, but now to this day I understand why, because God had a purpose and a plan for me. He had a hope and a future that was built for me. And somebody who was a broken little girl, God turned into somebody who's called to be a pastor. God turned this little broken girl into somebody who gets to go and evangelize, who gets to counsel with these beautiful women, who gets to see others be restored, who gets to get that same hope that I was given. That's the Jesus that I serve, and I'm proud of it, and I'm set free.